Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep, I mean really deep, into the mysterious world of the ocean's twilight and midnight zones. We often think of the deep sea as a desolate, empty abyss, but that couldn't be further from the truth. It's a vibrant, complex ecosystem teeming with life, and just like any ecosystem on land, it has its heroes, its unsung champions. We're talking about the cornerstone species, the linchpins that hold everything together. Without them, the entire deep-sea world as we know it could collapse. So grab your virtual submarine helmets, because we're about to meet the incredible creatures that are the true architects of the abyss. Our first stop is the world of hydrothermal vents. Picture this: towering chimneys on the ocean floor, spewing out superheated, mineral-rich water from the Earth's crust. It's an extreme environment, to say the least, toxic to most life forms. Yet here we find one of the most remarkable cornerstone species, the giant tube worm. These bizarre, beautiful creatures can grow up to 8 feet long and have no mouth, no stomach, and no gut. So how do they survive? The secret lies inside them. They have a special organ packed with billions of chemosynthetic bacteria. These microbes are the true masters of this environment. They take the toxic hydrogen sulfide gushing from the vents and convert it into organic matter, a process called chemosynthesis. The tube worms provide a safe home for the bacteria, and in return, the bacteria provide all the food the worms need to survive and thrive. This incredible partnership forms the very foundation of the vent ecosystem. The tube worms, with their bacterial buddies, create a literal oasis of life, providing food and shelter for crabs, shrimp, fish, and countless other organisms in an otherwise barren landscape. They're the primary producers, the farmers of the deep sea, turning toxic chemicals into life itself. Now, let's journey away from the fiery vents to the vast, cold, dark plains of the abyssal zone. Here, in the crushing pressure and perpetual darkness, another group of cornerstone species reigns supreme: deep-sea corals and sponges. When you think of corals, you probably picture the sunny, shallow reefs of the tropics. But the deep sea has its own coral gardens, and they are just as vital. Unlike their shallow water cousins, these corals don't rely on sunlight or algae. Instead, they are filter feeders, extending their polyps into the gentle currents to capture tiny particles of organic matter, known as marine snow, that drift down from the waters above. Over thousands of years, these slow-growing corals build vast, intricate, three-dimensional structures. They are the architects of the abyss, creating complex habitats that are the equivalent of ancient old-growth forests. These coral forests and sponge grounds become bustling cities in the deep. They provide critical shelter for countless species, from tiny invertebrates to commercially important fish like rockfish and groupers. They serve as nurseries for young fish, protecting them from predators. They are hunting grounds for larger animals and safe havens for creatures to rest and breed. Without these deep-sea corals and sponges, the abyssal plains would be vast, flat, and far less diverse. They are the ecosystem engineers, building the very infrastructure that supports deep-sea biodiversity. But what happens when one of these giants of the deep falls? This brings us to our next and perhaps most fascinating cornerstone event, the whale fall. When a massive creature like a whale dies in the open ocean, its body sinks, eventually coming to rest on the seafloor. This single event can inject a colossal amount of nutrients into the nutrient-poor abyss, equivalent to thousands of years of marine snow. A whale fall creates a new, temporary ecosystem, and it unfolds in several distinct stages. First come the mobile scavengers. Hagfish, sleeper sharks, and giant isopods swarm the carcass, feasting on the soft tissues. This stage can last for months, even years. Once the bulk of the flesh is gone, a new community arrives. These are the enrichment opportunists. Worms, crustaceans, and mollusks colonize the bones and the surrounding sediment, which is now enriched with organic matter from the decaying body. But the most incredible stage is the final one, the sulfophilic stage. Specialized bacteria begin breaking down the lipids, or fats, locked inside the whale bones, releasing hydrogen sulfide. Does that sound familiar? Just like at hydrothermal vents, this chemical release supports a whole new chemosynthetic community. Bone-eating ocedox worms, also known as zombie worms, burrow into the skeleton. Using their own internal bacteria to digest the fats, mussels, clams, and snails that also host chemosynthetic bacteria colonize the bones. A single whale fall can support this complex community for up to a century, acting as a vital stepping stone for vent-like creatures to disperse across the vast ocean floor. It's a powerful reminder that even in death, these majestic animals give life to the deep. Now let's move up a bit in the water column, into the twilight zone, or the mesopelagic zone. Here, between 200 and 1,000 meters deep, there's just enough sunlight for vision, but not enough for photosynthesis. This zone is home to what is likely the largest migration on Earth, and the cornerstone species that drive it are lanternfish. Don't let their small size fool you. Lanternfish are thought to be the most abundant vertebrate on the planet. By biomass, they outweigh all the fish in the world's commercial fisheries combined. Every single night, trillions of lanternfish, along with krill, squid, and other creatures, undertake a massive journey. They ascend from the depths to the surface waters to feed on plankton under the cover of darkness. Then, as dawn approaches, they descend back into the safety of the twilight zone to avoid daytime predators. This daily vertical migration is one of the most important processes in the entire ocean. It acts as a massive biological pump. By feeding at the surface and then returning to the deep, these animals actively transport enormous amounts of carbon from the upper ocean to the deep sea. This process plays a critical role in regulating our planet's climate. Furthermore, lanternfish are a crucial food source for a staggering array of predators. Tuna, swordfish, dolphins, seals, and even penguins rely on this nightly buffet. They are the central link in the food web, connecting the productive surface waters with the hungry mouths of the deep. Without the daily migration of lanternfish, the entire oceanic food web would be fundamentally different. So, from chemosynthetic bacteria and tubeworms to the forest-building corals, from the life-giving carcasses of whales to the migrating masses of lanternfish, the deep sea is governed by these incredible cornerstone species. They create habitats, they produce food in total darkness, and they connect different parts of the ocean in ways we are only just beginning to understand. But here's the crucial point. These deep-sea ecosystems are incredibly vulnerable. Deep-sea trawling can destroy ancient coral gardens in a single pass. Climate change is altering ocean chemistry, threatening the very survival of shell-building organisms. And pollution, from plastics to noise, is infiltrating even the deepest trenches. Protecting these cornerstone species isn't just about saving some weird and wonderful creatures in a far-off place. It's about protecting the health of our entire planet. The deep sea regulates our climate, cycles nutrients, and harbors a wealth of biodiversity that we have yet to fully discover. By understanding and protecting these linchpins of the deep, we are investing in the stability and resilience of our global ocean. It's a hidden world, but one that is fundamentally connected to our own. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today. I hope you have a newfound appreciation for the architects and engineers of the abyss. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more journeys into the amazing world of science and nature. Let me know in the comments which deep-sea creature fascinates you the most. Till next time, stay curious.